Welcome to Ice of the Bible, the Fall Gathering, week number 5, Singing the Blues. Today's question is, what do you do to lift yourself up? And why do you think we use the color blue? Does not the color of blue lift you? Does not the color of the sky blue lift you? What's up with that? Still blue waters of the sky and the still blue waters of the water? It's lifting, isn't it? Glad you could join us today. What beautiful responses we got. So what's happening in the sky? Well, in general, let's talk about the new general, the woman who was broke free from her chains. Before we get to that, today, right around 5 o'clock, 5:30-ish, the moon aligns with Mars. Mars is now in Cancer. Cancer is the stomach, and it's the breast. It's your aura. So today is a really good day for understanding the icy fire because the moon is cold from the ether, from pure love, and Mars is fire. Notice that this alignment happens with Procyon, and Procyon is before the dog. Procyon is the constellation Canis Minor, the little dog. So in other words, it warns of the floods to come. We'll talk about a little bit later. Just know we are upon the greatest metaphysical flood since moving into the Piscean age around 2,000 years ago. So let's talk about Andromeda. So Hygeia is transiting Andromeda, and October the 26th, it will align with Andromeda. Andromeda galaxy represents the woman in chain who breaks free. So this is exactly equivalent to that of Isis coming from the underworld. So every one of us has that divine feminine within us that will break free, that radiating love within us emanates outward. And that's going to start taking down Babylon, like we've been saying. And it's happening all over the world. You can see it. There's floods happening all over the world. We'll talk about that in a bit. But this Hygeia cleansing Andromeda, cleansing all your waters to let the woman in chains out is what's happening.
Hygeia.
First passed going direct on June the 28th, and now on October 6th, and then once more to complete the process on February 1st. But that's after she meets with Eris on January the 9th, and then Eris goes direct out of retrograde on January the 11th, which is the true new year when you take the 10 days out of the calendar. January the 11th is really January the 1st when the Vatican 10 days is removed. So everything is aligning up exactly the way it should. You just can't make this stuff up. It's textbook. It's written on the walls in Egypt, which matches the dance within the stars. So on February 1st, the last time Hygeia transits Andromeda to release the woman in chains, look at this beautiful alignment. We'll talk about this more when we get closer to February the 1st. But look at this alignment. The North Node, Venus, Neptune, and the Moon, while Hygeia is on Andromeda Galaxy. That means, so we're talking about 2025, RevCat? 2025, we've been talking about that because don't forget, Uranus is moving through, and in 2025, Uranus will be back in retrograde and done its final course back and forth in 2025 from Taurus, the bull, taking down the corporate structures that no longer serve us. So it's beautiful. It's happening. One more thing. Icarus is transiting what? Icarus is your wings. Your wings, as long as you don't fly too close to the sun and burn your wings, you are absolutely going to use that power that you have. So, Cece, your wings are glowing, they're growing. So, it's transiting Sinistra. Sinistra is one of the stars. I believe it's the left hand. It's because Ophiuchus is a serpent bearer separating the snake from eating its tail. It's stepping on Scorpio, the materialistic you. So your wings are transiting Sinistra in the next couple days. So pay attention. Use those beautiful wings wisely, aka for love, not for materialistic desires. So friendly reminder for December the 7th, which is quite the connection with your higher self. We'll talk more about this as we get closer. You can watch last week's video for more. So speaking of floods, which brings the blues, right? The blue waters. Thanks, Dave Carlson, for sharing a video short explaining all the recent physical floods which match our metaphysical flood we are upon. These locations were devastated by floods in the past month. Researching the past history of floods, this is way, way above normal. This is not climate change. This is people reading the astrology, trying to make money off of it. This is the change of the ages. They are their own lemmings that are going to lead themselves off the cliff because they got to get out of their materialistic world. They have to. Hence why judges, they're leaving the courtrooms because we know the law and they now have to run. But I send them love because they have to. They're our brothers and sisters and we got to love them too. So these changes of the ages are shown in the Egyptian walls. It's not random. It's a cycle. It's divine. And for those profiting off it, they will soon meet their own blue waters. Get it? But I just wanted to show you in New Mexico, there was a sheriff stranded on a truck roof after the deadly flooding in New Mexico. How ironic is that? A sheriff? And I don't know about you guys, but in Canada, a sheriff is the one that removes you from your house and leaves you stranded. So here we have a sheriff stranded amongst the blue waters, feeling blue, right? Feeling the blue. He felt stranded. So this is karma. This is karma. It's a sign. He has to embrace that sign. Like Sue says, you got to embrace it. There's guidance there. It's time to stop delivering the not good karma and only deliver good karma. So this is all this metaphysical flood, all happening within the last month. All right. And what is this? This is bringing everybody their signs. Rev Cat asked about what's going on the other side of the world when a hurricane is active. So I went to the site where the hurricanes, and you can plot all hurricanes on records. Now, as you can see, here's where Mauritania is. This is where the Eye of the Sahara is, right? The Atlantis they're talking about. It all stems from, look at, they all go this way and they head that way. So when you look at all these, it's the stars that drive the hurricanes that shape the lands. So I'm not going to jump into these in any detail, but you can see that they're patterns. They're absolute patterns. This is normal cycles. But we affect them as well. They will always shape the lands, but how we are either in the middle of it or get changed by it all depends on our waters, if our waters have resistance. So feeling blue, where did the feeling blue state originate from? As we said, the color blue is uplifting, no? So nautical origins, in the maritime tradition, if a ship lost someone during a voyage, the crew would fly blue flags and paint a blue stripe along the hull when returning to port. This practice symbolized mourning, and over time, the color blue became associated with feelings of sadness or loss. Meanwhile, it just meant that they went back to the blue waters. When they left the visible, they went to the blue waters, right? So the symbolism of the color blue, blue has long been linked to feelings of calmness and serenity, but also melancholy. That's the part where we lost our way. This might be because blue is often associated with the sky and the sea, which sometimes can be seen as vast, lonely, and somber. I don't think so. I don't agree with AI on that one. The connection between blue and sadness likely grew as people used the color to describe their emotional state. Well, that's a complete lack of wisdom. But that's what you get when you come from the Piscean age, agnosis, aka lack of knowledge, rather lack of wise memory. Is it the waters that takes us out? No, it's the waters is where you return to. It's the next womb, right? Why do we mourn? Time to know who you are. We are infinite. Some of us are leaving because we don't know any better, but it matters not. We just park right back into the waters of the mother. We live under the firmament, the womb of Mother Nature, and we will always, and we are always in the womb no matter what. So right now we're in the womb under the firmament, and then we return to the womb of the mother, just like I'm showing here, right? The sky, the mother, the womb, the baby. It's an infinite cycle. We're always protected by mother. Sometimes she leaves us alone for a little bit, but then she comes back. That's love in the cycle. So the womb of the earth is a different 9-month cycle. It's all relative. So when you look at the word Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, it is aqua rius. Rius is river. Aqua is the etheric waters. Well, we'd like to remind you of 3 key dates that were on the walls in Egypt, right? The weighing of the heart, the phoenix rising, and the raising Osiris, because it's a cycle. This is part of our growth inside the womb, under the sky, under the dome, under the womb, under the firmament. So on January 12th, 2020, I won't go into the detail, I'm just going to show you. We've been through these before. The weighing of the heart started in the sky. That's on the Egyptian walls. The phoenix rising happened in the stars on April 15th, 2023. That's on the Egyptian walls and in the Bible as Revelation 12:1. And then just recently, raising of Osiris, the love within radiating out, started on October 17th. And then we got these beautiful signs coming. We're Andromeda. We release the woman in chains coming up. These are all beautiful cycles that are on the Egyptian walls. Everyone has their own version of understanding this. Thanks, Sister Serena, for sharing this short clip from Sister Myra. This is really short, but she's got a really good message here.
Everything is about opposites. You have to know that. That's the Aquarian age. So as we see this reality falling, we have to know automatically in opposition, spiritual reality is rising at the same rate we're seeing the physical reality falling. Is the same rate we have to know we're rising in our energy vibration to step up in an opposite reflection, you know, to what we have now completed. What a lot of people don't understand about energy, it has to unfold through a negative and positive polarity. No pain, no gain. To the same extent the pain will be the same extent the gain. What they don't understand is that you have to complete 1/2 before you activate the opposite response.
That's one version of it. I agree 99%, but it's beautiful, isn't it? It's absolutely beautiful. If you guys remember this, we talked about influential wise ones, and then we had a response from Ina3321 on our YouTube channel. So not only now, but in the past, we've had so many who shared their version of the truth. And this one here, shared by Ina3321, was Petar Dunov, aka Benisa Duono from Bulgaria. This dude is awesome. He knew. Dunov is also known for his prophecies, many of which emphasize the coming of a new era for humanity marked by a spiritual awakening. So he just knew. He didn't understand what the signs were on the Egyptian walls. You don't have to. You don't have to read the stars. You can just know. And he did. He predicted the collapse of old systems and the emergence of new harmonious ones. It's happening. A love-centered world order. It's happening. His influence reached beyond Bulgaria, inspiring spiritual seekers worldwide, including notable figures like the artist Nikolai Roerich and French esoteric philosopher Omram Mikhail Ivanov, who became a prominent teacher in France after learning from Duno. His quotes: "Love is the greatest power, the source of all creation, and the key to spiritual evolution. Humanity is a process of transformation, moving from materialism towards spiritual awareness." Self-discipline, service, and living in accordance with natural and divine laws are essential for spiritual progress. Spirituality is not separate from everyday life. Harmonizing the physical, emotional, and mental aspects of life is crucial for growth. Well, he's very wise, and thank you very much, Ina, because she shared a lot of this text. So looking at his chart, you can see that he was very much connected. So yes, the more we connect, it shows in our chart. You can see Eris, Isis, is tied, say, like same degree of Neptune and the other Mary. So both Marys are tied with his energy. Pluto, God the Father, on his north and south node with Jupiter law. All right, the moon on Saturn, and then he has the sun with Vesta, the Vestal Virgins. So I won't go into any more detail, but you can see the connection. So every time we connect, we repeat, and it stays with us. So while we're working on our new entrance through a new womb, we're passing with flying colors. Look forward to being here this life and next lives with y'all. Synchronistically, my wife mentions Jane Roberts. Everybody heard of her? Jane Roberts was a visionary author and channel who profoundly impacted the metaphysical community through her groundbreaking work with Seth material. In her writings, particularly in Seth Speaks, she brought forth transformative teaching from the entity Seth, aka the Akashic records of the self, your highest self. That's who Seth really is. Emphasizing that we are the creators of our own reality. See, she gets it. Her work inspired many to explore the power of thought, belief, and the limitless potential of the human spirit. Through Seth's voice, Jane revealed deep metaphysical truths about the soul, reincarnation, and the eternal nature of existence, encouraging people to embrace the inner power and live with intention. Her legacy continues to inspire spiritual seekers around the world. Jane's courage to embrace the unknown and share these profound insights has made her a beacon for those seeking a deeper understanding of themselves and the universe. Her message of self-empowerment and interconnectedness invites us to remember that we should not play victim. You have to hear these words because I listen to myself saying them. We should not play victim of our circumstances, but co-creators in an expansive, loving, and infinite reality. We create the situation that we're feeling. Don't play victim. So if you ever see her in the images they show, I showed one of her in a beautiful, nice state, but she looks like she's right out of it. And I can show you why. Well, first of all, there's Aldebaran. Aldebaran is what? The brightest star, the royal star in Taurus. And she has Seth, Mercury, the Ibis, the Akashic record keeper aligned with the royal star. She was born on a new moon in eclipse position. So I never checked to see if her birth date was an actual eclipse, but she has the ability to eclipse. So when she eclipses, that means she's going into the black and she can download because she has these connections. All right. Also, she has black moon with Saturn rising. I mean, so black moon is deep spiritual signs and time. So she can go and access the time, the Akashic records. And there she is with Mary Magdalene on the south node. So she's got a new moon on one side and Mary Magdalene on the other side. So she is connected. And yes, so her book, Seth Speaks, The Eternal Validity of the Soul. This woman was very well connected. And I know Kat, since she was listening to her. So Kat, my wife, and Kat, here, they were both listening to her. So awesome. Such a great synchronicity. And so feeling blue is a misnomer. You are writing your own creation from your past actions. When you have this revelation, it now becomes easy to pick up our soles of our feet, like somebody said, the heel, and bring them to the heart center along with our thoughts and actions. So let's lift up our spirits and be one with the love that is radiating out. We have no choice but to know that when we are riding a guidance wave, we will find calm shores once again. Brother Chris is finding calm shores in his own way. He has now become the fisher of men and is showing his recent catch of himself. Way to go, Brother Chris. You usually show what you caught here, but he's showing that he caught himself. So that was beautiful. Thanks for sharing that, Brother Chris. That's so invigorating. And that's
He's
all.
cat scratch fever.
That is so beautiful, Chris. Thank you so much for sharing. You're awesome. Oh, man.